classified into categories, living and non-living. You have already studied about living and non-living organisms. Can you tell what characteristics define living organism? Production, respiration, growth, movement. These all are the characteristics of living organism. In this, we'll talk about growth. Right? Now, what do we require to grow? We require food to grow. Now, in this chapter, we are going to study about how a living organism getting food and utilize it for getting energy for growth and to do different work. And these processes in which living organism taking food and utilize it to get energy is called nutrition. Here in this chapter we will particularly talk about nutrition in plants. So that is your chapter 1, nutrition in plant. Nutrition in plants. Nutrition is of two types, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Now, how it differs? Nutrition. Let's see how autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition differ from each other. Auto means self, trophic means nourishment. Self-nourishment means the organism which get nourishment on their own are all autotrophic nutrition, are all under those autotrophic nutrition, and hetero means other and trophic means nourishment. Other nourishment means the organism which get nourishment from which depend on others for the nourishment are called heterotrophic. Heterotrophs, or they undergo heterotrophic nutrition. Children, I have written green plants in autotrophic mode of which undergoes autotrophic mode of nutrition. Can you tell me why? What is the specialty of green plants? Do we need to feed them? Do you ever see any plant eating anything from outside? Of course not. Yes, student, green plants do not depend on animals for the food because they are able to prepare their own food. You have already studied about these processes also. Plants, with the help of carbon dioxide, water, and most importantly, sunlight. With the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide and water
combine in
chloroplast. In chloroplast, using chlorophyll and able to give you glucose plus oxygen. You know this.
Let us understand the process of photosynthesis. Leaves are the food factory for plants. They produce food with the help of carbon dioxide and water. Let us see how they get carbon dioxide. Look at the leaves. These leaves have tiny pores called stomata. These stomata are surrounded by guard cells and they open and close depending upon the availability of light and water. So when it opens, exchange of gases take place and it allows carbon dioxide to get in and oxygen to go out. Let's see how these pores appears. which are called stomata. I'm zooming in to show you how stomata appears. Wait and have patience. Look, I am zooming in the underside of the leaf, and you can see the pores. I have zoomed it to 10x, so you're able to see some pores. Of course, the image is not as clear because, believe me, in 1 millimeter square area there are more than 1 lakh cells. So you can imagine how small they are. And see, the leaf has pores on the underside of the leaf, right? Not on the upper side. This is the diagram of stoma, which is surrounded by guard cell. Open and closed stoma. We have seen how do plant leaves get carbon dioxide. Now let's see how water and mineral reaches to the leaves. Water and minerals are transported to the leaves by the vessels which run like pipe throughout the root, the stem, the branches and the leaves. They form a continuous path or passage for the nutrient to reach to the leaf. They are called vessels. Rather, they have a special name called xylem. You will learn more about in the chapter number 11. We have seen the leaves have green color pigment called chlorophyll. You know, children, that the plant has green color due to this chlorophyll only. It is not able to absorb green color, so it appears green. Now, these green pigment chlorophyll help leaves to capture the energy of the sunlight, and this energy is used to synthesize, that means to prepare the food from carbon dioxide and water. Since the synthesis of food occur in the presence of sunlight, it is called photosynthesis. Photo means light, synthesis means to combine. Let's know more about chlorophyll. There is chloroplast found in plant cell, and these chloroplasts contain chlorophyll. To experiment to see chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Discharge the variegated leaf of money plant. For that you will keep the pot 3-4 days in dark room. Now take this leaf and put it in alcohol filled beaker. This allows the chlorophyll to dissolve in it. But to make it completely decolorized, we will put this beaker in boiling water. This way, to decolorize completely, it becomes colorless. All the chlorophyll get dissolved in alcohol. Once it is started getting decolorized, carefully take out from the alcohol and put it in the hot water for washing to remove the chlorophyll completely. Be very careful while doing this because the leaf is very soft. Okay. Once it becomes colorless, it is easy for us to record or observe the color change by iodine. Children, you all know that iodine is used for tasting starch. It gives bluish black color with starch. Spread the leaf and put drops of iodine on it. See, iodine is brown in color. When we put drops of iodine on it turns bluish black from brown. This color change is due to the presence of starch in the leaf. Leaf store food in the form of starch, and thus it gives bluish black color with iodine. The part of the leaf which is green in color turns bluish black, and the part which is not green does not appear bluish black. And that's how we can say chlorophyll is necessary for the photosynthesis. Children, you can see the variegated leaf and the leaf with no green color. It's purple in color, right? Do you think, are they able to do photosynthesis? These leaves are also able to do photosynthesis. These leaves have chlorophyll in it, but the large amount of red, brown or other pigment mass make them appear different in color. So, they are able to produce starch and oxygen. That means they are able to do photosynthesis, but only the part which is green in color is able to do photosynthesis. And these green patches at a stagnant water or pond are nothing but it is called algae. They are green in color, and so they are also able to produce their own food. That means they are also able to do photosynthesis. All that appears green, whether it is leaves, stem, branches, all these green part of the plant able to do photosynthesis. Thus, we can say that chlorophyll, sunlight, carbon dioxide and water are necessary to carry out the process of photosynthesis. It is a unique process on the earth. The solar energy which is captured in leaves and stored in the plant in the form of food. And thus we can say sun is the ultimate source of energy for all the living organism. Children, I had told you one story before. Do you remember? In that I told you, if one day all the herbivores died, what happened to the Lion King? Is it able to survive? No, of course not. Because, yes, truly said, if there are no herbivores, there is no food for carnivores as well. And therefore, they are also not able to survive. And herbivores depends on plants for the food. So, and plants prepare food with the help of sunlight. So, ultimately, all the living organism depend directly or indirectly on sunlight for the energy. And therefore, we can say the sun is the ultimate source of energy.